My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Miss Natalie Urquhart, who is the director of the National Gallery here in the Cayman Islands. And also with us, artist Mr. Horacio Esteban. I'm going to share some of his bio with you. I'm sure all of you have heard of him, and he shared some of his bio with us earlier. This is on the National Gallery's website. Born 1963, born in Cuba and raised in Cayman Brac, Horacio Esteban is a sculptor and jeweler known for his use of local semi-precious stone Caymanite, a core member of the Native Sons Artists Collective. He was recognized by the Cayman National Cultural Foundation for Artistic Excellence in Sculpture in 2002. And in 2017, he received the Artistic Director's Visionary Award. In 2004, Mr. Esteban was the recipient of the National Gallery's CI Artist Way Grant. And in 2015, he was selected for residency in the Inter-Island Artists Lock-In Project in Jersey Channel Islands, produced by the Jersey Arts Trust in partnership with Jersey Heritage and Wild Work Theatre Company. The National Gallery's CI exhibitions include Emergence, 2005, Native Sons, Five, did I pronounce that right? Five.
Native Sons 5 in 2005.
Native Sons 5, right, 2005. All Access 2015. Salt Water in Their Veins 2017. And then there was a solo exhibition. I'll leave all of that out, and he can tell us more about that as well. But I just wanted to give you a background in terms of our native son, Mr. Horacio Esteban. Ms. Natalie, over to you, and then you can push it over to Mr. Esteban.
Well, that's a great platform to talk about the exhibitions. And of course, we've mentioned that Horacio works in a lot of different materials. And in 2017, we worked together on a smaller exhibition, which really was the germ of this larger mid-career survey show. And that was developed alongside an exhibition that we did called Revive, Contemporary Caymanian Craft. Mm-hmm. And we're very interested at the National Gallery looking at that bridge between our traditional cultural art forms, craft, thatching, carving, fretwork, particularly the visual craft. Obviously, the Culture Foundation champions dancing and writing and performing arts, etc. Mm-hmm. And so we had worked with Horacio on this smaller show, and immediately at the time wanted to do something that was more significant. It takes us a year or two to really develop these bigger exhibitions and do the appropriate research and the academia behind it. So jump ahead to 2020. And now we have this really fascinating exhibition, and it really does kind of unravel as you walk through the show. It's been designed to sort of take you on this this journey of marvel and wonder, I think, is what we're trying to capture in the work. Because it really is, people come and see Horacio's work, and you kind of think you know what a Caymanite sculpture might look like, but you come in and see all of these objects together, and it really is transformative. It's very, very exciting. And of course, one thing we didn't mention is that Horacio's work is in many private collections, but also something that's very significant for an artist if you are looking to develop your practice and sort of reach that sort of national recognition, is being in public collections. Yes. So Horacio's work is in the collections of the National Museum, the Cayman National Culture Foundation, the National Gallery, and the Office of the Premier, among other important public collections in the Cayman Islands.
Okay, and as far as the acquisition of his works through purchase, how do you go about that?
It's a great concept. So at the gallery, we have a collections committee. So we have a committee of about 5, and every year we look at works that we think are important, that might have come through a National Gallery exhibition or possibly through an artist studio visit. We actively go out and look at works that we feel that need to be in the National Art Collection. And of course, that collection is managed by the National Gallery. The museum have a component of it. The Culture Foundation manage Miss Lassie's estate. These are all works that we want to make sure are collected for the people of the Cayman Islands, both today and being able to see them today, but also 100 years from now. And we were very excited in 2019 to work with the Ministry of Culture. Honourable Dwayne Seymour, Minister of Culture, has been a very big supporter of developing the National Art Collection. And we brought on board to the National Gallery collection the Grand Cayman, which is this Cayman crocodile, which is one of the really amazing pieces at the end of the show. So you'll be able to see that in this current exhibition if you haven't already viewed it in the National Collection Gallery. And that is one of the reclaimed cedar works that Horacio was referencing early on. And I think what's really exciting when you're looking at these different materials in the works, because we have some beautiful Caymanite sculptures in the National Gallery collection that we're also going to be putting in the exhibition. One that really springs to mind is this beautiful mother and child. But these two types of sculpture are completely different from each other. One is piecing together wood, and building something, and the other is carving away, finding stone. And I think Horacio, unlike any other artist I've seen, we see a lot of Caymanite work and really skilled Caymanite work in Cayman. But the way Horacio finds those patterns and the flow of the different colours in Caymanite and uses that to influence the object that is unveiled in the carving is really phenomenal. And I think the show really brings out some of the best examples of that throughout his career.
Okay. Over to you, Mr. Esteban.
So yeah, this is one of the best and greatest opportunities, and I want to thank the National Gallery for taking me on and giving me this opportunity. As far as the works are concerned, we did forget to mention one new material, and that was the discovery of Maiden Plum roots, right? The more so the roots than the body of the tree. And the reason why that caught my eye is because oftentimes the same effect happens. Cedar trees, they die in their bodies and their roots stick around for a long time. And because the cedars that we have are growing in mostly the cliff, what we call the cliff land area on top of rocks, so the roots will have to travel over rocks to find soil. And because of there being particular specific droughts in our history, I find a lot of the cedar trees are hollow on the inside, and there was just the outer skin that grew and formed the tree. A lot of these trees are 100 to 200 years old when they died. So you add another 100 on top of that. Some of these are like 300-year-old trees, and their material is still vibrant and still smell. You got that cedar closet smell when you're working with it. But the same thing happened with the Maiden plums. I would be scouring the woods and just kind of like exploring, most likely looking for Caymanite in the cliffs, and realizing that there's this super bright red material just sitting on the ground, and then coming to find out that it was the remnants of a Maiden plum tree, and realizing that working with the wood itself was of no harm, other than inhaling the dust, which all dust could be detriment, right? But the colors, the bright reds that it gave off when it was finished, and there's no other material like it as far as I've seen, and it is an extremely hard wood. It lasts a long time, and again, it's also impervious to bugs. Bugs don't go near it, so it became one of the go-to materials for incorporating into, along with cedar and Caymanite and metal like aluminum or wire mesh and siphons, and so that's the combination of works that you're probably going to see on exhibit at the National Gallery.
Okay, excellent. Earlier in the show, we mentioned that there have been occasions when Mr. Esteban's art has been purchased either by the Cayman Islands government as gifts to dignitaries and stuff. Do any come to mind in terms of prominence?
Yeah, thanks to the Cayman Islands government, there's been quite a few. Nelson Mandela has received my work. Prince William, on the occasion of their marriage, received my work, and of course, this was all compliments of the people from the people of the Cayman Islands. Mm-hmm. There's been a few Hollywood stars like Eddie Van Halen had some of my work. There's quite a few. There's some Prince of Monaco has my work.
Prince Albert.
I think it is Albert.
Yes. Princess Grace's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Danny Glover has my work. The guy from Frasier, one of the guys from Frasier, thanks to Flowers Group, he was just down here with the last Flowers Sea Swim. I can't remember his name. He had
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, yeah.
So
it. There's a long list of people. And unfortunately, I didn't really review that list before I came here.
You're so modest.
So, it hasn't been about that. It's
another thing that you're not mentioning is that you know being selected to create the sculptures for the Young Caymanian Leadership Awards series, which is, I think, a really important symbol as well. Not just the Caymanite, but that you were selected to do that. I'm a proud owner of one of your works via YCLA.
Okay.
But I think that's a great honor as well because of the connection with celebrating Caymanian leadership as well. So I think that's definitely something to shout about.
Golden Apple Awards as well.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to survive doing art in the Cayman Islands, you have to be a little bit diversified, and you can't just depend on the raw artistic development. You need to somehow find niches in the commercial aspects of it. So awards have been a great help for generating revenue and paying bills, and then as a crossover, using the same materials to create these recognition objects. So corporations are indulging. Government is a big client. It's I've been very fortunate to pursue what I love and enjoy and survive from it.
Okay. Now, I know you're going to leave us before we finish the show, so I want to give you an opportunity, Mr. Esteban, for any reflections, any closing comments that you may have, and I also want to say, all the best, with this exhibition as well.
Well, thank you. There's so many people to thank. The National Gallery, Cultural Foundation. So many people have assisted in me reaching this pinnacle where I sit on today. Including corporations and personal friends for encouragement, and the list is way too long to mention. And I guess I might close by saying that this is going to be a pretty interesting exhibition, December 3rd through March 28th, I think. And if you get a chance to come out, please come out and enjoy.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue with Miss Natalie Urquhart, who is the director of the National Gallery. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor. Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success with Roper's Janitorial. We make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health. You know you've dreamed of that Mercedes, the smooth leather, the style. Ooh la la! With the Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzarama. Now is your chance to make that dream come through. Get your ticket for the Benzarama fundraiser at Lorna's gas station in Bodden Town, West Bay Esso, Funky Tangs, Reflections, and South Coast Bar and Grill. As well at Event Pro. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzarama fundraiser supports site screening, Christmas deliveries, restoration, and social services.
The Benzarama drawing will take place December 5th. All Benzarama tickets bought earlier this year are still valid.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Mr. Esteban has left us. Still in the studio with us, Ms. Natalie Urquhart. And before we start to talk about the National Gallery in general and probably a little bit more about this exhibition as well, I believe the modesty of Mr. Esteban made him forget one prominent person who has received some of his artwork.
Quite importantly, Her Majesty the Queen.
Yes.
So I think it's quite remarkable, and Horacio is very, very humble and doesn't share many of those stories. But to hear that long line of remarkable leaders that all have his work in their collection is really very telling to the level of skill that Horacio has. And I think that's what's been exciting about these larger survey exhibitions, is that you can tell that longer story. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We try and borrow works back, both from public collections, and again I want to thank the Office of the Premier for loaning us some pieces, and individual collectors as well. And often artists don't either document where their work's gone when they've sold it. Certainly in their younger careers, you're not thinking about archiving your own history. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's so important, I think, when people are selling, even at that very early age, to remember who you've sold to, keep a record of that, because if you are going to do a mid or later career retrospective, as your work grows and your acclaim grows, it's really important to be able to go back and find some of those earlier pieces as well. Not that I'm going to be calling Her Majesty to see if I can borrow works for the exhibition, but it really is remarkable, that list of collectors. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. I guess so. It's also important in this day and age to keep an image of your work as well. For tracing purposes.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that we do at the gallery, we have a program called The Business of Art. And, we have so many really talented creatives in Cayman. Some haven't gone through the art school system, a lot of self-taught. So when you do go to art school, like any other learning opportunity, you might be told, keep an archive, photograph your work, make sure it's documented. Mm-hmm. But if you're self-taught and prolific and in creating, you obviously don't stop to think about the business side of things. So this program that we've been running for several years, but more actively again during lockdown through the digital environment, is to help artists realize things like needing a portfolio, needing a social media presence, how to market your work, how to connect to galleries and collectors. And of course, as you said, very importantly, how to document and archive your practice as well. Even some of our greatest artists say to me, I wish I'd taken pictures of my work in the early days so I could remember those pieces, or I had a high resolution image in case they ever want to do a publication about their career. And when we did Bendel Hyde's very large 50-year career retrospective in 2019, that really was a huge amount of research. We were going back to the 1970s. We were rephotographing. I think we photographed over 450 paintings, both in private collections and Bendel's own collection and the family's collection. So it really just shows you how important it is to try and keep up with that as you part with your work, because it might be the last chance you get to see it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about more exciting things that are happening at the National Gallery.
Well, one of the exciting things, and it's been really interesting that the timing has sort of fallen into place like this, is that obviously we have Horacio's show, and I'm going to talk about the school component and all of the programming we're going to be doing around the show. We also have another solo exhibition by a gentleman called Mark Lawrenson called Consumed, and that is all made out of plastics. So it's all of the artwork is recycled plastic and collage and recycled paper. So it's a very interesting dialogue between Horacio's work, which is predominantly natural materials, most of them found. I mean, all of these pieces of wood, caymanite, sea fans, these are all discarded items that Horacio has found on the beach or in the natural environment after they've died or been ripped out of their natural environment. Mark works with predominantly finding plastic on the beach and then cleaning it up and making it into these huge portrait collages. So that's on until the 20th of December. And it's been very exciting with Mark's show. Again, all of the exhibitions that we do have a really... they offer a great teaching component. So in the Consumed exhibition, we can talk about recycling, we can talk about plastics, how important it is to help with beach cleanups as young people and people my age and older, but as a community trying to limit our plastic use and certainly to clean up our environment from plastics. And we're seeing that, aren't we, around the world nowadays, people being a lot more conscious of that. So that offers us a great chance to talk to young people about recycling. And it's brought a lot of schools back to the National Gallery post-lockdown to learn about that. And in the same way, we're offering a really exciting school tour program around Horacio's exhibition. And of course, what that offers us is a chance to talk about these really ancient natural materials that are unique to Cayman, like caymanite, and the science behind caymanite. How does that get formed over millennia of these, the compressing of the plates, and in the cedar, looking at how the wind has carved out the woods and bent the woods. And I think that's what's so magical about Horacio's show. You get this sense of the natural environment really influencing his own artistic practice. Yes. He looks for these pieces of cedar, like he said, the gnarly bits that his teacher would have said, no, that's not useful. And it's actually the wind that's already helped sculpt these pieces of wood. And then Horacio just takes that a step further. And it's the same, looking for the perfect piece of caymanite to then sit down with and look at the patterns of the caymanite and then create the sculpture. And a recent example was a beautiful bird sculpture that Horacio put in our big art auction a couple of months ago. And just the way that he uses the natural lines of the caymanite to look for the creature inside. He's carving away, but that creature almost is already sitting inside the caymanite. Yes. And it, magic is one of the only words that I can use to really express the joy of what those sculptures emerge as. So if you think about how we can teach young people across Cayman, firstly, ensuring that they know about these natural objects like caymanite, what it is, why it's unique to Cayman, what is limestone, how was it made, the science behind these things. So people often think about an art museum. Obviously, the National Gallery is an art museum. They think about paintings or sculptures, but we use all of those creative objects to teach any curriculum topic, from The more obvious ones are our Caymanian history, our maritime heritage. We've got beautiful marine images by Miguel Powery, very famous maritime artist. And we can talk about the history of catboats and how they were made and the history of our grand turtling industry. Those are the more obvious ones, but we can teach mathematics. We have a labyrinth at the back, which is the golden circle, and how those equations and ratios are put together. And of course, in this particular case, the science opportunities to talk about the natural environment and how it's formed, it provides a great chance to talk to young people about that.
Okay. And we know that during the COVID-19 pandemic that you had to make adjustments. We're back to some semblance of normalcy, not fully, but we're able to mingle more. How is the National Gallery now adapting back, getting back to normal?
It really does feel back to normal in many ways. We've done a series of big evening events with 300 people at them. People are wanting to come and celebrate art and culture and to be to find a community again, I think, to have those opportunities to interact. And of course, the audiences at the National Gallery range from tiny little toddler artists all the way through to our senior citizens. It's a very diverse group of ages and backgrounds. So it's really nice to be able to provide these opportunities for people to come together. The gallery is free. There's no admission cost to come to the gallery. And of course, those events as well.
Not many things are free in Cayman these days.
We try very, very hard. And actually, it's a great point because we're able to do that through support. We're partly supported by the Cayman Islands government, and then we seek partnerships with different businesses locally. And we have a really exciting partnership with Davenport Development as a gold sponsor for this Horacio Esteban exhibition. Excellent. And Auger Law Firm is our silver sponsor. So we really wouldn't be able to do this scale of work without their support. So very grateful to them.
Okay, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments and to again remind our listening and viewing audience of the important dates in December for
Absolutely.
Mr. Esteban.
So we're coming up. Our Thursday evening is our sort of members reception. But again, if you're interested in coming and seeing about membership, come on down and learn. And then the exhibition will be open from Friday, December 4th all the way through to March. So you've got lots of time to see it. But we are open throughout the Christmas period. So we have slightly reduced hours from the 24th of December to the 2nd of January. That will be 10 to 3 daily. But we are open throughout, of course, not on the public holidays themselves, but every other day of the week, bar Sunday. So Monday to Saturday, we will be doing a series of evening events and lectures and workshops throughout Horacio's exhibition. You can jump on the National Gallery website, nationalgallery.org.ky, go to our What's On section to find out about those events, or if you want to learn more about Horacio's exhibition or the Consumed exhibition with Mark Lawrenson, just go to the C section of the website, which is SEE at the top bar, drop down to exhibitions, and we have all of the information you need about both of those exhibitions. And of course, the National Collection exhibition right now is looking at the maritime story of the Cayman Islands, both historically and in the present day. That's called Saltwater in Their Veins. Beautiful exhibition and survey of about 80 different artists engaging with our maritime theme.
Will that tie in any way with our National Heroes Day and celebrating our seafarers? Any intention of tying the two in?
We are definitely looking at exploring some programming around it at the same time. It's a really great platform for that story, and it starts with the grand history of our maritime explorations and turtle fishing and merchant marines, and then it goes through to the present day and how that relationship has evolved dramatically but is still very strong. The reliance on marine-based tourism, imports, and the stewardship of that marine environment as well.
Okay, Ms. Urquhart, I want to thank you very much. Again, as usual, so knowledgeable and exciting things happening at the National Gallery. And I just want to say to our listening and viewing audience, make sure that you support your National Gallery and support all of your local artists as well. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, we will be talking about the NICE program. And we will have in the studio with us Minister Joey Hugh as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Attention Caymanians, the registration deadline for the 2021 elections is January 4th. Caymanians turning 18 on or before the May 26 election may register now.
Every vote will count in our May 2021 general election.
In order to vote in the 2021 elections, you must register by the 4th of January. For more information, visit elections.ky or the elections office at Baytown Office Suites opposite the Wharf Restaurant.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going to be talking about the NICE program with Minister Joey Hugh and Miss Loy Kellerman. I forget Miss Kellerman's title, but we will have her introduce herself after we say good morning and welcome back to For the Record to Minister Hugh, and welcome to Miss Loy Kellerman as well. Minister.
Good morning, and thank you for having us in this morning, Lucy. It's good to be here.
Okay, and Miss Kellerman, can you introduce yourself for us?
Good morning. I'm Loy Kellerman, and I am the project manager for the NICE project.
Okay. And I'm sure, Minister, everyone is looking forward, to the NICE program. It's something those persons who are maybe unemployed or underemployed get an opportunity to participate in. And of course, with COVID-19 situation in the Cayman Islands, which has affected many segments of our society here, it becomes even more pressing.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. It is. And let me first start by saying that we know that many were anticipating this, and we took a while to get to the point where we are now. And that was not by choice, but there were challenges within the government. A lot of those who would normally have been involved in the organization of the program were redeployed to assist in critical areas. COVID-19, obviously, and dealing with some of the new programs, there's only a certain amount of project managers that we have within the government. And then after that, we had delays because of the storms, and we have to utilize the resources on the cleanups and the preparation and that sort of stuff. So we've had a number, it is 2020, we've had a number of delays, but we are here now, and we are, as a government, certainly committed to the program. We've seen the success of it over the years. We extended it to twice a year under normal circumstances. Obviously, for obvious reasons, we did not have one in the summer this year. But generally, we run the program twice a year. We see the enthusiasm and the commitment from those who participate in the program. We've seen results where persons have had that opportunity to get started and found employment either within government or within the private sector. And it has been quite a collaboration between different departments and ministries. We've had work involved, everyone from DCFS to community service, and of course our ministry, which leads me to quickly say thank you to the Ministry of Community Affairs for allowing Ms. Kellerman to step away from her very important duties there, dealing with the issues surrounding displacement from due to COVID-19 in particular, and to come over and give us a hand over the next couple of weeks with this program. So we thank them for that. We know that somebody has to pick up the slack for her when she's not there, so we appreciate that. In past as well, OC, I just want to say that I know that there are a lot of people who take pride in this program. In previous times, I've had people come up to me and say, I have a job, but I love this program because I feel like I'm giving back to my community, and I love to go out there and help beautify the country. And then I also have had pensioners who otherwise are okay, but say, hey, I'm able-bodied, and it gives me pride in going out and cleaning up my country, and I enjoy it. It gives me something to do. And we've encouraged that, and we've appreciated that in the past, or certainly appreciated that perspective. But I am going to appeal this morning to those persons in that category who may be employed and just like to give a helping hand and do their part, and to those pensioners who are otherwise okay, but feel able-bodied and say, I can go out and do something. I want to appeal to them this morning to be considerate to those who are displaced due to COVID and have not had employment since March of this year. And whilst we're doing everything as we can as a government to help them financially, or help them through stipends or through the needs assessment unit, this we would like for those who are in a better position, or those who are in a much more fortunate position, to perhaps consider giving us the opportunity to focus on those who are truly unemployed at this time and have been struggling through this period, because we know that the numbers are going to be higher than in the past. And so, I just want to appeal this morning to say thank you to those who have in the past come out and done their part and prepared us for hurricane season, prepared us for the tourism season, and who have taken tremendous pride in beautifying their country, to perhaps consider taking a leave this year to allow those who are so genuinely in need to take advantage of the program. We are only able, for many reasons, to do 2 weeks before the Christmas. It includes the preparation, the registration, the training, and then, of course, to ensure that we can provide the payment of salaries for those persons prior to the Christmas break, because we do have to deal with Treasury and it takes a few days. But we will be back in the new year. So, the government is committed to this. We'll see what the numbers are. We'll try to give as many as we can an opportunity in the 2 weeks before Christmas, and then we will resume after the Christmas. Okay. So I'll hand it over to Ms. Kellerman, who will give more of the technical background and the details on the project.
Certainly. Ms. Kellerman?
Good morning. Again, OC. As Minister said, we're ramping up to start this program all over again for 2 weeks here in December. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just bring the mic a little closer to you. There. Okay.
Okay. So our dates are December 7th to the 21st. To the 18th. December 7th to 18th.
Okay, 11 days.
So it's 2 weeks. We're doing registration a little differently this year.
Okay.
So for persons who have worked with us for the past 3 years or so, they won't have to do a physical registration. They will just have to get an application form, fill it out, and drop it back in the drop boxes that are all located either at the government admin building or any of the public libraries. We do require that anybody who has never worked the program before, though, that they register physically at any of our locations within the districts that they live. And so those registration points are, for East End, it's the East End Civic Centre. For North Side, it's United Church Hall. For Bodentown, it's United Church Hall. For West Bay, it's Church of Christ on Batabanu Road. And for Georgetown, it's the Public Library. Okay. Registration is on Wednesday morning, this Wednesday, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So we have a team of people at each location, and the idea is that everybody comes with their documents that they need to provide, and we just run them through as quickly as possible, so that we're not having a whole lot of people gathering, and trying to get them out as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So that's we would have known that we renewed the regulations on public health regulations on Friday, and the limit on gatherings is still at 500. So it's important that those who have been registered previously, that they utilize the libraries, etc., and only those who are new applicants come to the registration and go to the registration on Wednesday morning, because we don't want to have large crowds gathering. So and we just want to ensure that we recognize the protocols required for COVID-19 under the public health law. So that's the reason it took us and why we're doing it so differently this year. And I can't overemphasize and stress how important this is, and that we do follow those protocols.
Okay, we're going to take a break for headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, we're going to go back over to Ms. Kellerman to get her to announce the dates, the locations, and who should be attending where. Extremely important. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, with Minister Joey Hugh and Ms. Loy Kellerman will continue after this short commercial break.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on Island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 357 COVID-19 test results on Friday. 5 came back positive. 4 are asymptomatic. 1 is showing symptoms. All are travelers who have recently returned a positive test result following routine screening and isolation. Moderna is filing for U.S. and European emergency regulatory approval of its coronavirus vaccine so that it can be recommended for widespread use. Regulators will look at trial data for the mRNA vaccine and decide if it's safe and effective enough to recommend for rollout. Clinical studies show the jab is more than 94% effective at protecting people from becoming ill with COVID-19. And Australia has demanded China apologize for posting a fake picture on a government Twitter of a soldier murdering an Afghan child. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said Beijing should be, quote, utterly ashamed for sharing the repugnant image. It comes amid escalating political tensions between the two countries. The image referred to alleged war crimes by Australian soldiers, murders of Afghan civilians and prisoners. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Minister Joey Hugh. He has constitutional responsibility for commerce, planning and infrastructure. Also in the studio with us, Ms. Laura Kellerman, who is the coordinator for the NICE program that is due to take place in December and as well as in the new year also. They're important things that those of you who are intending to participate in the NICE program, important for you to know, to bear in mind. And I'm going to ask Ms. Kellerman to repeat those as well, starting with the date for registration and who needs to show up at those dates, location, and those persons who need to show up at which locations.
Okay. So again, for persons who had worked the program before, they only need to pick up an application form from any of the district libraries, their MLA offices, from work, or the reception area at the government admin building.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody needs to pick up an application form. But the persons who worked with us before, once they pick up their application form, they fill it out, they can email it, and the application form has, and the flyers have where they can email it to, or they can drop it back into the drop boxes that are located either at work, at the district libraries, or at the government admin building.
So literally they could complete it there and leave it there at the same time. Yes.
Just leave it there.
Okay.
Because they would have worked with us before. We would have had all their documentation, done their vetting and so already. So their process is a little easier. For those who have never worked with us before, they need to physically attend registration, which are in their districts. They need to pick up their forms before from, again, the public libraries, MLA offices, work, the government admin building, needs assessment unit as well.
They should have those forms before they attend?
It would make life a lot easier and a lot smoother. So bring those forms with them, completed. They also need to provide a photo ID and a voter's ID. If they don't have the voter's ID, then a birth certificate, a passport, or a Caymanian status certificate. And for persons married to Caymanians, then they would also need to have their residency with employment rights certificate or valid stamp in a valid passport. The registration, physical registration, is on Wednesday morning from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Persons are asked who have not worked the program before are asked to register in the district in which they live. So we have registration points in each district. Again, that's East End, it's East End Civic Center. North Side, it's the United Church Hall. Bordentown, it's the United Church Hall. West Bay, it's Church of Christ on Batabanu at their church hall. And at Georgetown, it is the public library in the older section of the public library. 9 to 12. So when they come in at 9 o'clock, or they can come anytime between 9 and 12, actually.
Okay.
All right. So we're not asking everybody to congregate at 9 o'clock. So they come in 9 to 12. Again, this program is for persons who are 18 and over, Caymanians, and persons married to Caymanians, spouses of Caymanians.
And what the minister emphasized earlier also was that if you are currently employed, because there are situations where people may be employed, they may be on their vacation, or they may alternate where they work one week off the other. if those persons have some sort of income stream coming in, you're asking them to do what, Minister?
I'm just asking them to perhaps be considerate to those who have been without employment since the COVID restrictions and in particular those in the hospitality industry that have really been affected by this. There are others, but those in the retail sector as well that normally serve the cruise passengers downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just asking persons to be mindful that we would like to focus on those individuals and to just be considerate that if you do have, and we thank them. I mean, I when I speak to them, it's important to know that when, each year I visit the registration and it's, persons speak to me with that sense of pride that they're doing their bit. And like I said, there are those who may be on vacation at the time, and there are those who perhaps are otherwise okay, but just felt, hey, I'm physically able and I enjoy doing it, and I like to give back to the country. And that, that's something to be celebrated, that people feel that way. But we are limited this year because of all of the restrictions and challenges that we face, and so we're just asking that if you're in a position or not in the position that many that we know are in, and you're able and you're comfortable, that we perhaps consider giving it a pass this year and allowing those who really need it to take as much opportunity as they can.
Excellent. One of our listeners has written in and said, Minister, give you 2 thumbs up for being so considerate to those who have nothing coming in at this point in time. So kudos. So from one of our listeners in that regard. And it certainly, is challenging when we are so heavily dependent on the service industry, yes, especially tourism, and with the prospect not knowing when cruise ships will be returning. And while here in the Cayman Islands we have basically gotten COVID-19 under control, we have to be so careful about opening up our borders because not many countries find themselves in a position that we find ourselves in. And
this is a challenge. This is beyond our control. This is an external threat, and not one that any one of us could have seen coming. I grew up and my businesses were in the hospitality industry, and I remember 9/11 when the airports closed, and we were so thankful to get cruise ships back, but they had, the flights weren't flying yet, and of course, after Hurricane Ivan was a similar situation. But this particular pandemic has struck to the core of our hospitality industry. It's no cruise, no air traffic. It really has brought it to a screeching halt, and we are very fortunate in other areas of our economy, unlike many of our sister territories around islands around the territory, where they were very much almost 100% reliant on tourism. We're thankful that we have other industries that we've been able to continue to maintain and in some areas grow. And so, it is important that we all come together now and recognize those who have been, directly affected by this pandemic and support them. Okay. Now, Ms. Kellerman, we haven't mentioned anything about the sister islands. Is there a similar program going on there, or do they have an ongoing program?
They have an ongoing program. The sister islands run an ongoing program every year. Mm-hmm. So, but just to follow up on what Minister has said, I think we'd just like to borrow from Department of Tourism. Let's practice that Cayman kind. As we know, there are so many people who really don't have anything coming in at all. And so, while, yes, I may have something coming in and it might not be as much as I used to have, we have many people who don't have anything. So we would really like to give them an opportunity to be able to get something this over these couple of weeks. As Minister said, we will do 2 weeks in December from the 17th to the 18th, and then we'll extend it in January. 7th to the 18th. Sorry, 7th to the 18th of December, and then it will be extended in January from the 11th to the 22nd.
Okay, we do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to the lady there and Mr. Connor and Mr. Minister Hugh. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Sorry. I did that nice program several years ago when we attended down at the Governor's Square. Now, I'm 70 years old. Do I still need to do that again? I had my pin and my certificate. I remember, I think my surname was Miss Watson or something like that. We did it all down at the Governor's Square building.
So basically, if for anyone who'd worked with a NICE program in the last 3 years, they do not have to come and do a physical application registration. They still need to get the application form and fill that out and send that in, or just put it back in the drop boxes. Persons before that will need to attend a physical registration.
Can you send it electronically as well?
You can send electronically. So once you complete the application form, you can WhatsApp it, or you can to 9170153, or you can email it to ncep@gov.ky. So 9170153 is our WhatsApp number. It's also our online hotline number. So any questions at all anybody has can call that number, or they can text it that number as well.
And the email again?
The email is ncep@gov.ky.
Okay, well, like I said, I did mine several years ago when I was driving taxi, you know. Mm-hmm. And just have to pick up the forms again then and redo it.
Okay. And do you know the locations? Did you hear earlier where you can obtain the forms?
Yeah, she said at Bordentown, the church or something there.
Yes, the Webster Memorial United Church Hall.
Yeah.
Sorry. To pick up the forms is the Bordentown Library.
Okay. And any day of the week?
Any day of the week that the library is open.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Minister Joey Hugh and the coordinator of the NICE program, Ms. Lloyd Kellerman, will continue. So please stay tuned.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs, with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Men, it's time to be the best example we can be. If we wish to have a happier and healthier community, we must each take on the individual responsibility to be the change we wish to see in these 3 islands. Let's help each other when we are struggling and find the right support. Contact the Family Resource Center to find out what programs are available to help you become the best version of yourself. Contact the FRC at 949-0006 or email frc@gov.ky for more information.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're talking about the NICE program that is going to take place next month in Cayman Islands. That conversation has taken place with the Honorable Joey Hugh, who's the Minister responsible for Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and Ms. Loy Kellerman, who is the coordinator for the NICE program. We do have a caller, so we're going to go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
And good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Hugh. I'm not sure if you know me, but I'm quite sure you heard the name before. But anyhow, I just want to ask a few questions, and you can write them down and then answer when I hang up the phone, okay? So I can get my questions in, please.
Go right ahead.
Good? Okay, I'm not going to knock down the NICE program. It's a good idea. But I just want to say, Mr. Hugh, that when we got these guys out there on the road working, they're not really being monitored properly when they're standing in the road with their long sticks trying to roll the paint onto the around the curves, whatever you want to call it. And furthermore, if there's a piece of grass hanging over the sidewalk, they will paint that piece of grass hanging over where they're painting. It's nothing but pulling that up or pushing it back into the ground. I mean, in the garden that they're painting. Understand where I'm coming from, sir?
Yep.
I really feel that it needs to be more supervised and make sure that they're doing an excellent job. That we could be even more prouder of them, knowing that they get those few weeks of work, knowing that they're unemployed, and they look so forward to coming out there every year to do this work. And Mr. Hugh, I'm on the throw this in here. I just want you to answer me after I hang up. I'll be listening. The school buses, and we're always doing roads, making more lanes, and buying more property to make more roads. But I can't see anything in regards to our school buses stops for our children on a daily basis. And another one, I can't understand how come we don't have a fire truck lane, fire truck ambulance, fire truck ambulance and police emergency lane when they are running to try to save someone's life. I know our roads are limit, and we're robbing here and there to make more lanes, but the more lanes that we give to the public, the more crazier they are at driving. So we need to look out for our policemen, our firemen, or especially our paramedics and firemen. They need to have their own lane and stop swerving in and out between cars trying to get where they want to go. And lots of cars doesn't want to stop. We all have a leader on the road now who's telling us what speed we're doing. I understand they got cameras in them, and the speed that I'm picking up here in the morning time trying to get to work at 6 o'clock, it is unbelievable. We can't hear if those cameras in there are working and if they are picking up any speeders. So I'm just leaving with you this morning, Mr. Hugh. If you could look into those things for me, especially when it comes to our school buses having a proper place to stop to pick up kids. Down on Smith Road, Pasadora, Mr. Hugh, some of those minor kids down there going to get hurt. They should have a security guard there or a bus warden standing there keeping those kids in order until the buses pull up for them, the little minor ones.
Okay, caller, we're going to have Mr. Hugh respond to your questions and comments. Yeah. Minister?
Yeah, thank the caller for that. And on the issue with the concern about the safety of the nice workers, and I did want to, in my closing remarks, I was going to remind the public to be careful, to drive careful and recognize that the crews will be out on the roads and to take added caution when passing them. And these are the things that we do that are part of the program, where we are working with the employees to just do that. Proper work ethic, safety. Why is it important to remove the grass or to have the grass cut before we paint? These are all parts of the program, and it at the same time. It restricts the program as well as to the amount of people we can take, because that is the number one challenge we have, is that the supervisors that are so gratefully given to us by Public Works, NRA, and DEH also have other full-time jobs. And so we have to spread them as best as we can through the program. So that is one of the restrictions why we can only do so many people per week. Is there's transportation issues, there's equipment issues, and then there's the supervisors, and that just highlights the reason why we have to keep the numbers to a manageable point, so that we can provide a learning experience for our participants, and their safety. On the second issue, the caller will know that I am a huge proponent of the complete streets method, which we have adopted at NRA, and the shared streets. So we are working in mind going forward in everything we do. We're taking the approach that the streets are for all users, whether they're pedestrians, cyclists, motor vehicles, trucks, it doesn't matter. The streets are for all users. Roads are not built, should not be just built for cars, but it should be built, the idea is a movement of people. And so when we start to work on public transport, for instance, she spoke about emergency lanes, I agree, and perhaps those emergency lanes, when we get our public transport up and going and we reduce the number of vehicles on the road, though we can create those lanes for emergency and public transport only on the major thoroughways. And that also just leads me to and I'll actually, when I'm closing, I'll talk about the hop-on, hop-off service that launched this morning.
Yes.
But also the issue with the bus stops. We do, whenever we're designing roads now, again, on the complete street method or the shared streets, we do provide leeways for buses to pull off. The school buses in particular, the traffic law requires that traffic in both directions stop at all time, and I think the caller may have been talking about where the kids are gathering. And that is another issue. Perhaps we will have to work with the Department of Education on those matters. But it's, we don't have any control when we design the roads as to where the kids are being picked up and that sort of stuff, and how they're being monitored there. But I'll certainly follow that up.
Okay, one more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C., and good morning to the Honorable Minister.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First, I would like publicly to thank the Minister for continuing of this program. It's a very good thing to help people to survive in this country, and I think it is opportunity to see that the Caymanian and the one unemployed are willing to work anything to survive. And I think this program did begin long time since the government in 2009, when was started by Mr. Elio Solomon. And the minister, Mr. Hugh, did continue this program, and it's a very good thing that the minister is doing this issue to help the people. My question here today really about the issue of employment in general to the minister, and you connected to the government. You are part of the government, and you see that this issue of employment in the hotels, especially the hotels these days, they advertise for people to work. You find they line up some work permit holder who's sitting for many months in the island without a job. And there is a lot of Caymanians, a lot of locals who are out of job, and they can't get that job. And I think this new work department is not doing that great job we are thinking. Yes, there is some improvement happen a little bit. I will not deny that. But we want to see that hotels who have 900 employees, you don't find 20 Caymanians there. And I don't want to say names.
Caller, we're running out of time, so can you just place your question? Because the minister is going to leave at 9:30, even though I'm going to ask him to stay on because we won't have enough time for closing comments to stay until 9:45. But can you just ask your question, get right to the point so we can accommodate others, please?
Question is, what is the government measures to do for those people who just they employed for 2 weeks in the program? Why the government don't do something to replace them? They have the names, they have the list of the names of the people are willing to work. Why they don't find a way to replace them in those hotels who 100% their workers are non-Caymanians, non-locals, and why those hotels are not employing Caymanians? And you can get example of a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Excellent point, caller. Thank you very much for that. Minister, you heard earlier that I'm going to ask you to stay a little bit longer, sure. But I'll give you an opportunity to answer that caller before we go to our next commercial break.
Let me thank the caller first for his support of the program and his kind words in that regard. Since we're speaking about a program, and obviously this year is not a normal year. But what we started to do a couple of years ago is that we have not only have we ran the program as a bit of, that its intention to help provide some employment for some persons at key times of the year, back to school, prior to Christmas, pre-Christmas. But we started to partner with work, and we started to partner with other entities such as MRCU, Agricultural Society, and others, to register individuals, identify those who are employable within the program, to assist them, offer them all of the programs under the work umbrella, further training, resume writing, etc. We've also had instances where they have been employed directly or even on short-term contracts with the agencies that they went to, that partnered with us during the cleanup period. And so that was the approach. And of course, with the launch of the new work program this year, again interrupted by COVID and the relationship that should play with immigration. And I think that's what he was focusing on more, was the enforcement. And then that's what it comes down to. If we do everything we can on our side to prepare our people, and then give them the opportunity, then it is then for the enforcement to come into place to say that we have these persons available, they've been trained, they're suitable for the job, then that's who you should be hiring. And that's where we're trying to get to overall. But in this particular program, we have over the last several iterations of the program, worked with individuals and identified stars within that within the program and assisted those that have minor issues that we can work with them to overcome those issues. So we've taken a very holistic approach to it through this program.
Excellent. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Minister Hugh and Ms. Loy Kellerman will continue, so please stay tuned.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
No, man. My bill seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Do you remember when 2020 was great?
I don't think it was...
2020 vision, not the year.
Right.
Make 2020 great again with Optical Outlook, the new West Bay store now open. With their designer frames and sunglasses, eye health has never looked so good. Call 746-2020 and book your eye exam today at Caymanian Village and now at Jake Scott Plaza in West Bay, offering premier eye care in Cayman for over 30 years. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook.
Did you hear about the big giveaway from Clean Cayman?
They used to be J&D Sanitizing. Now I hear they're cleaning everything.
My wife just went online, booked and paid for our cleaning service. Plus, we could win a Kimpton staycation.
What you say? Just like that? Get a sparkling clean house, then go chill at the Kimpton?
Clean Cayman makes it easy. Click, book, pay.
Visit cleancayman.com. Book a residential cleaning service starting from $60 and up and win a free night at the Kimpton Sea Fire. Terms and conditions apply. Residential online bookings only. Promotion ends December 4th. Book now at cleancayman.com.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We want to thank the Minister and Ms. Kellerman for extending their time on For the Record this morning, talking about the NICE program, because it is important that we get all of this information, important information out to those persons who are unemployed at this point in time. And when we say unemployed, we really mean unemployed. You may be on a job and work 1 week, off 1 week. We're asking you to be your brothers and your sisters' keepers. Help those who don't have any form of employment at all. And if you are semi-employed, then give those who are unemployed an opportunity. I'm sure that my guests here in the studio can put that in better words than I have, put them in. One of our listeners wanted to know what the NICE program is, and they may have missed the first part of the show as well. And then they wanted to know, another listener wanted to know whether or not Wednesday is for every district. So we're going to ask, to repeat some of those important issues and dates as well. Ms. Kellerman?
Okay, so the NICE program is what we call the National Community Enhancement Program. And that program really gives people an opportunity to earn some money, but it also helps to beautify our country. So, we do a lot of maintenance work, a lot of cleanup along the beaches, along the beach accesses, the parks, the cemeteries, things that probably don't get done all along. And it also helps the different departments sometimes that have extra projects that need to be done, but because they have so many other competing priorities, it can't get done. So, for example, at DH, there's a lot of work in the landfill that it's easy for us when we think that all they'd have to do is pick up the garbage and take it to the landfill. Yes. There's a whole lot of separating. There's a recycling that needs to be packaged and sent off. There are the oil pads that needs to be kept clean. Just repainting the bins and the drums that we put out there. So there's lots of things that need to be done that the workers on their average day can't get to do. So it really is a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we can get done, and it just helps us overall. It makes the country looks good. The workers get pride in when they see the things that they started, where it started from, and what the finished product is. They're so proud of what they do, and they work very hard. I suppose in every place you go, there's somebody who may be slacking off, but we monitor those people. We speak to them. We have guides and guidelines and rules that they have to abide by, and if persons aren't abiding by those, then they're asked not to return to work. We also,
and each of those crews will have a leader, like a team leader or something like that on them as well?
Yes. So every department has a work manager or two work managers, depending on the amount of workers that they have, the participants. But in each team, there is also a government supervisor for each team, and then we do a lead hand on the team, because we're also trying to upskill people, and so we give them an idea or an opportunity to supervise persons and learn those, what it takes to supervise people. So again, for this program, we do safety briefings. If there's something new that, like last year when we were doing sargassum, for example, they got an orientation about what sargassum is, how to handle it. When MRCU came on board, they got an orientation in that. So they learned it. It's about developing their knowledge and their skill base as well. And at the end of the program, there's also an evaluation done on every participant, which talks about how well they did, what they didn't do so well in, where they need to improve on.
Okay, and can we repeat those, the dates and who needs to register and who can complete a form because they have been involved in the NICE program before, Ms. Kellerman?
Okay.
Sound like a broken record, but it's important.
It is important. So registration for first-time participants, first-time applicants who've never worked the program before, is on Wednesday, the 2nd of December. That's this Wednesday, day after tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. It goes on to 12 noon. Everybody doesn't have to come at 9 a.m. We're asked that you stagger throughout the day. Registration is within your district that you live in. Registration for West Bay is at the Church of Christ on Batabanu Road. For Georgetown is at the Georgetown Public Library. For Bodentown is at Webster Memorial United Church Hall. For Northside, it's at the William Pucci Memorial United Church Hall. For East End is at the East End Civic Center.
One quick question on that. Will those persons be restricted to work in their district, or can they expect to maybe be dispersed throughout the island?
We try to keep people within their districts. However, that is not guaranteed. It just depends on where the work is, what projects we have to do, and the numbers of persons.
Okay. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you. I just want to close up on that and just again remind people to pay attention to the registration process. This is the first time we're doing it this way. It's different, and the reasons are because we have to abide by the COVID regulations. And so we want people to be mindful of that and pay attention. And if you have any questions, there's the hotline that you can call, and also perhaps visit your MLA offices and seek help from them. But if you're unsure, then you go by on Wednesday, but we've made it quite easy with drop boxes in all the locations, or you can do it all online. So just take some extra time to understand the process, and it'll be easy for everyone. I just also, again, just remind motorists that, during the program, we are out on the streets, we're there beautifying our country, and we ask you to do your part by just being extra cautious when you see our crews out on the streets, and be mindful of their safety as you drive by.
And many instances, those traffic cones are usually placed out there, and drivers need to understand that when they see those on the road, that is your signal to slow down, because it means some sort of activity is taking place there. And so you may not see a flashing sign to say slow down, or someone with a stop sign or something, but please slow down.
And there'll be road works ahead signs and things like that are there for a reason, not just for you to go around them as fast as you can, but for you to proceed, but proceed cautiously and slow down. So, and I just want to take a few minutes to talk about our hop on and hop off bus service that we started this morning. And so there's just a couple of things. This is a service, a free service that we wanted to provide. It originates from behind the immigration building in the parking lot there. So if you take a public bus into town, and it's raining or it's hot, as it usually is here, you'll be able to access free of cost this hop on, hop off service around town. Or if you drive into town and you find parking anywhere, you would be able to then pick up the hop on, hop off service and conduct your business around town. This is twofold. When we did our town hall meetings in the eastern districts, we heard in particular from a lot of elderly that they love taking a public bus into town. The problem is when they get to town and they have to go to credit union and then go to the courthouse or go to Digicel or whatever, that one walk across town and they're soaking wet in sweat and it's hot and they're tired and they don't get all their business done. So we heard that loud and clear. And then the other part is that this is being sponsored by my ministry, working along with public transport, and it's part of our national energy policy to reduce the carbon footprint. We feel that it's going to be successful, and if it is successful, we will continue the program. But once these buses go back to work in the tourism sector, we plan to use electric buses as part of the national energy policy towards meeting our goals under that policy.
Are these buses easily identified?
They're going to be easily identified. They have a small, I read an update this morning, they have a small sign on the front of them now, but by tomorrow they'll have all the graphics on the bus, and there'll be there'll be signs with the logo at each of the stops. So I'll just run through it. The government, it starts at Government Administration Building or by Immigration there. And then it goes Farmers Market on Hull Avenue, Credit Union, Pines Drive, come into the rear of the hospital.
Okay.
The front of the Cayman's Hospital Health Services Authority, Atlantis, South Church Street, North Terminal, North Church Street, Courthouse on 4th Street, Sandbox on North Church Street, Work, which is on Mary Street, Elizabethan Square on Shedden Road, and then GAB. And then that's Route 1. Route 2 is a reverse of that.
Okay.
So the two buses will be working in tandem in reverse. So depending on which way you're going, you take that bus to your nearest stop. There is one other very important piece of information, is that under the COVID-19 restrictions, you have to wear a mask on all public transport. So we do require a mask to use the hop-on, hop-off services. I am going to go out on a limb here and say that either my team have thought about putting a few disposables in there to start out with. If not, I'm telling my team now to put a few disposable masks in there until people remember to bring their masks to go on the hop on, hop off. But we're excited about this, and we see this as an overall holistic approach to reducing vehicles on the road, and as well as reducing our carbon footprint in the Georgetown area in particular.
In a plan, will you have a driver and a conductor, or the driver will be driver-conductor?
I think that right now we have our team are out riding on the buses, and handing out some little treats, etc., to promote it. But we'll just have the driver, and they will be monitored and running on a route. So if you need any more information, the website is you can access it from the www.energy.gov.ky. All the details and the stops, the logo, so you can look out for the logo, is on there. So that's www.energy.gov.ky.
Excellent. Okay. Anything else that you want to say before you go?
No, just thank you again. Just reiterating, please follow the directions on the registration. Please be careful when our teams are out there. I don't know if I'll be back on the radio. Friday we have the inaugural opening of Parliament, and we'll be in there for a couple of weeks, and then it's going to be Christmas. So I just want to say, to everyone out there, continue to please be patient with us as we continue our road works. Please be careful and be courteous to each other, and let us have a very safe and blessed Christmas, as we have been so blessed in these islands over the last few months.
Certainly. Thank you very much. Minister, I want to thank you. Ms. Kellerman, thanks for being here. Sure, go ahead.
OC, thank you for having us. Just want to remind persons who are coming to registration that they must bring a photo ID and either their voter's ID or their passport or birth certificate. And then I just want to also say, while I coordinate and manage the project, I have a whole team of people below me. So this is a integrated project. So we have all the ministries really working with us: the Ministry of Community Affairs, Ministry of Planning and Infrastructure, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Employment and Border Control, and it's really a combined effort with the ministries and their departments and all the people who work under them. And I just want to say, because they do the work on top of their normal work, and I just want to say thanks so much to them. Without them, couldn't do it.
Okay.
So, and thanks to all the ministries and their chief officers and ministers for their support as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much, folks. Please stay tuned. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I'll probably have about 5 minutes so I can share something from Tradewinds newspaper with you, I'm sure. I believe one of the things that we will share with you, today's date and time, something new came to the Cayman Islands. Can you guess what that was? If not, I'll tell you when we return. Please stay tuned.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value. Integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
Fat Chance, featuring Harriet Vassal as Ma, Giovanni Ebanks as Dexter, Giselle Webb as Corrine, Patrick Lopez as Buddy, Priscilla Pucci as Wiggy, Isaac Rankin as Mr. Fredericks, Jaron Carter as Frederick, Leroy Holness as Wiggy's date, and Radio K-Man's Susan as Mrs. Stanton. Fat Chance. Don't miss Fat Chance on Radio K-Man every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. until December the 23rd, with a repeat of each week's episode airing every Saturday at 6:45 p.m. beginning on November 21st and ending on December 26th. A CNCF production, sponsored by Radio K-Man.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, K-Man's Kitchen and Bath Center.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio K-Man.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Only 5 minutes left to go in the show, so we're not going to reopen the phone lines. Don't have enough time for calls to be taken. I just want to share something with you. December the 1st. This is as close as I could get to the November the 30th. So December the 1st, 1966. New era dawns in Cayman, in the Cayman Islands. What was that new era? Well, folks, here it is. The Tradewinds newspaper announced that tomorrow, which would have been the 2nd of December 1966, telephone service will be inaugurated in the island, and you will be able to talk to your friends or business associates in East End, West Bay, Bordentown, or Georgetown just by dialing a number, and it won't be long before you will be able to make overseas calls as well. So we started with local calls for the districts, 2nd of December 1966, and then we would be moving on to overseas calls as well. Article goes on to say that Cable and Wireless, the concern responsible for this wonderful innovation, has become a byword in Grand Cayman in the past year. But how many know just how this worldwide facility came into being? And then it goes on to talk, the article goes on to talk about cable and wireless. During the latter half of the 19th century, many individual cable companies then in operation made the first step towards formation of what was known as the Eastern Telegraph Company. Year 1872 marked this momentous occasion. Then it goes on to say that in 1873, 3 other companies, Western Telegraph Company, Eastern Extension, Austria, Lazio, and the China Telegraph Company were formed. The 4 main companies, although unamalgamated, owned between them most of the major telephone cables in the world. And then there's an article about says that these companies eventually pooled their resources and formed a company known as Eastern and Associated Telegraph Company. And in time, they covered practically the whole of the British Empire and many foreign countries, supplying their latest in a communications competition communications competition was limited then. And then it talks about the Marconi Telegraph Company was formed in 1897. However, the age of radio dawned by the end of World War I. Between 1914 and 1918, the Eastern and Associated Telegraph Company began to feel the competition of radio, and technicians labored day and night to extend the field of communications. In 1928, major advances in radio communications had intensified the rivalry between the companies, cable versus radio communications. The competition was so great that neither side found the operation profitable, and there was distinct danger some cable companies might be changed. And it was because of this, this threatened change of routes and became the importance of using cable for ultra-secret military conversations. It goes on. And it says Cable and Wireless was formed then in 1928. So this is basically the history of cable. What else did we have? Anything else to go along with this article? There was an article about Sir John Macpherson, who was the chairman of Cable and Wireless West Indies Limited at the time, and he came to Cayman to take part in the opening ceremony of the Grand Cayman telephone system. He had been touring several Commonwealth countries. So there's an article on him. Another of our companies, power company, featured in that Tradewinds newspaper as well. And it says that the project engineer for Caribbean Utilities cites the completion of first phase upgrading of electrical facilities on Grand Cayman. J.B. Edmondson of Davis H. Elliott Company indicated that by Sunday, a new step-up substation and a new express transmission line operating at 12,470 volts would be replaced. So we saw Cable and Wireless CUC expanding at that point in time as well. So the Cayman Islands was growing. Folks, that's all for this morning. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension for the record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. And before I say the rest of it, there are photographs in here showing Mr. Gurner Panton, who worked for Cable and Wireless at that time, as well as Mr. John F. Borden. That would be John Franklin Borden, who started as a clerk at the government wireless station in May of 1960, and in 1966 was appointed assistant wireless officer. A year later, he was appointed acting chief wireless officer, and he was with Cable and Wireless as well. Mr. Gurner Panton, he was with Cable and Wireless since 1965. Folks, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dweeny Banks at 12:15 for Talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure.